Welcome to New Jump City, everybody, where we recap the week in American and Japanese sequential art. I am your host, Christian, the unbiased king. And also joining me, it is the man, the myth, the legend, the tank top sage. It's Joshua Gangsta Time Cole.
It's called Partner, but it should be called Gangsta Time.
Also joining. Oh,
what up, Chris?
Also joining us,
good everybody listening.
It is our producer, Edgelord, the Big News Brian.
What's
up, nerds?
Hey. It is episode 350. Very excited to be here for the 350th time talking about manga. I even included the bonus soundboard that I have. A sound from there. That's how good I feel. Very excited to be here. So excited. I'm going to do another one. There you go. Oh, I'm feeling it today, boys.
Jazzercise.
Jazzercise. I got to use that more often. Super duper excited to be here. 350 shows. Almost 100 pre-show chat shows. We've been doing this for a minute, boys. And we are on our way to episode 400. But for now, how are you guys doing?
We're chilling. I'm chilling.
We good these days.
Oh, yeah. We good, all right. We are good today. We are good. It is Nixon 4 time. Very excited to be alive today. We have got manga to talk about. I am continuing my journey to read every single series currently being published in Shonen Jump as we speak. This is my current tier list of every series that I am currently covering. I've been doing this for a while now. And nothing has been canceled yet. I don't have many updates. I guess I'll just go by real quick impressions of where everything is, because there are new series that are digging in their heels and, making, solidifying their identities within the magazine. This Class B Destroyers, which is quite simply not my thing. And I'm okay with that. It seems to be okay. It is written by a veteran Jump author, the guy who created Gintama. So I imagine that he's gonna have some kind of shield over him for a while. The series is doing relatively okay in the rankings, especially this week. So I expect it to stick around for a while. So there's that. The next series I have is Drawn to Fire, which is a very average sports manga, basketball series. I'm not vibing with the art too much. There's something about the character designs that are a little off to me. And the story hasn't really hooked me yet. I mentioned this before, but I've been I really want a good staple sports series in Jump, and it's been a while since we've had one. I'm hoping it's Drawn to Fire. I'm hoping it picks up. I think it's been doing okay in the rankings, so it may actually stick around. Hoping it improves. Hema 10 seems to be on its way out. I feel like the story is kind of wrapping up, which is crazy because it's less than 100 chapters. It's okay. I mean, I've gone on with my issues with this series. Me and Roboco staying where it is. Alien Headbutt might get canceled at the next round, which is a bummer. Alien Headbutt and Kanado's Magic are both kind of been in the bottom 2 for the last few weeks, which is kind of crazy. I like both of these series. They both came in with Underdoctor, but for some reason they haven't been able to hit their stride in the magazine. With Hema 10 ending and possibly even Blue Box, I'm hoping that buys them a little bit of time because they'll need placeholders in the event that Blue Box or Hema 10 or both end in the next round of cancellations by the next time the series will be updated. But Alien Headbutt is also gearing towards closing up plot lines story-wise, so I don't know. It's not looking good. I recommend people read Alien Headbutt. I think it is a fun series. The art's really good. It's not the most deep story-wise, but if you want just a fun beat-em-up manga, this is the one for you. Kanado's Magic, I'm surprised is not working out well. Because it is a solid series. I guess the protagonist reminds me a little bit too much of Deku. It's very much taking those cues. But the artwork is fantastic for Kanado's Magic. So I hope it sticks around as well. Both these series, I hope they stick around. New Age Exorcist is boring. I don't love it. I'm struggling to get through it. But I'm trying. I'm not caught up yet. Roku's House of Oddities has a lot of potential. I'm really enjoying it. The art's very good. The story is funny. It's mostly like a slice of life type supernatural comedy manga, but it does it really well. I recommend it, and I hope it sticks around for a while. Under Doctor looks like it's going to be here to stay. It is the most popular out of the 3 that it came in with, and I think it's going to be kind of a spiritual success. Oh, what'd you say?
Under Doctor?
Yeah. Yeah, I could see it.
Could you cover the mouse?
Huh? Oh, it's this guy.
Could you cover the mouse over it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I could see it being kind of a spiritual successor to Sakamoto Days. It's not exactly like Sakamoto Days, but it is similar in a lot of ways. Someone Hurts is a pleasant little series. I'm enjoying it. It's like kind of a nice palate cleanser of a series. It's very chill. People should read it. It's cute. It's mostly a slice of life comedy. Witch Watch has been very cool lately. This arc has been very fun. Mostly because it is actually a plot-driven, battle-centric series at the moment. I'm enjoying it a lot. Blue Box is coming to an end, possibly. I feel like we're getting there, and it's lovely. It's a lovely series. People should read it. Ichi the Witch. Well, very good series. I'm enjoying it a lot. I don't know if it's beating the ones above it, but it's there. It's good. Shinobi Undercover is great. Ultimate Exorcist Kyoshi is great. And the A ranks obviously are fantastic. They stay where they are. One Piece stays at the S. I just wanted a quick update of my tier list. That's where I'm at. Does anybody have any updates on what they're doing, what they're reading, anything?
Actually, no. Since I caught up with Kyoshi, I haven't been reading any other manga.
Mm-hmm.
Although I have been encouraged to catch up on Freerun, so I might start doing that.
Check out the pre-show chat show for a little bit more about Freerun that we've been having a multi-episode discussion about. All right. Well, that's it. And in that case, I suppose we should get on with this show, yes?
Yeah.
Let's go for the 350th time. One Piece. This is One Piece chapter 1183. Good Morn Maid. Last we left off with One Piece. Imu and Loki are fighting. Loki is already in his full Nidhogger form. And Imu is just like talking to him right now. This is where the chapter starts off. He's talking directly to Ragnir, he was like, Ragnir, thou wert waiting for one who could strike back against Mu. Isn't that right? And Loki's like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? And he's saying that Loki, and Imu returns saying like, Loki, Straw Hat Luffy, in any case, thou will not be my soldiers, so I shall eliminate thee instead. And then they just start fucking boxing in the air. Just exchanging blows and powers and all that stuff. And meanwhile, we cut back to the Western Village where Zaza, a sleep tid of Zaza, was summoned by Killingham, and it has started to fuck up all the giants and kidnap the children. This design is just still really cool. Seeing him move around is pretty sick. It has taken at least 7 of the giant children, much to the giant parents' chagrin. We see that Sanji is on his way, though, so, there's a little bit of optimism there. We cut over to Gunko, the ice has survived Imu's blast, which, as Loki stated, actually, that the ice block won't break unless Ragnar himself undoes it. So that's pretty sick. I guess he really meant that shit. That it's pretty much indestructible. And we see that Usopp asks Brook why he decided to fight that woman. He's like, I had to jump into after you because it seemed like something was wrong. And they asked Brook if he knew her, and Brook is like, yeah, I mean, he's like, what? Nami asks him if she was some enemy they fought in the past. He's like, no, not an enemy, but a person I did not want to see, or so I thought. I'm so confused because if it's really her, then she should be about 77 years old by now.
Wow.
Whoa. So like, it's got to be someone else then, right? I mean, she's a celestial dragon, and Brook explains that Gunko was the princess of her homeland, and he lost contact with her when she traveled to Sacred Marijois. Wow. So Frankie runs over saying that like she's still frozen, and Brook continues to explain that like what she's saying is that she's a celestial dragon who looks exactly like someone. Oh wait, Usopp asks that is like what I'm saying is she's a celestial dragon who looks like someone you knew. And she explained, and Brooke is like, well, that doesn't make any sense because she was the one who undid the ropes and let us free. Why would she do such a thing? And he remembers that she even remembered his name. And that she came back, and Brooke thinks to himself that she has the original personality, and her demonic form. Her original personality, the personality that saved them, and her demonic form. And she's like, I've seen 3 people in her. So, Jinbei is like, I hate to rush you, but we need a decision. Does she live or die? And I'm like, God damn, Jinbei. I know you're getting into your little backstory here, but could you fucking decide on whether we should kill this lady? And Brooke is like, no, let me get into my backstory first. I got a secret backstory to go through real quick. And Brooke explains that a truly long time ago, she was just a child last time he saw her in a country. It was a country that no longer exists, Esperia. And he explains that Esperia was a land of music and full of workshops crafting instruments of all kinds. And we flash back to 70 years ago, where Brooke has been running around this city singing and bothering the neighbors, and all that stuff. And Brooke has been hanging out at the island of Esperia, his home island, where he is very respected among the soldiers. Everybody's begging him to teach them the quick draw technique that he does. And he's like, it's not fair that Princess Shuri gets all your attention. And yeah. So we cut to Brooke hanging out with Shuri, or a young Gunko, who was 7 at the time. And he's singing Bink's Brew with her, and he's been training her this entire time. Brooke is 20 years old at this point, and she's asking if he thinks she got any stronger, and like her mom. And Brooke is like, yes, she is very powerful. Queen Kendall, the light of my life. And Brooke and Shuri is like, it's not good to fall in love with a married woman, Brooke. And that's when he runs into the actual king of Hesperia, Reuven, who looks like the king of bums. He's literally like just in a tank top and a crown, and his hair is all mess and all that stuff. And he overhears Brooke talking crazy about his wife, and he's like, I sentenced you to get death for conspiracy. But he's obviously like playing around. They just like joke around with each other. Haha, hee hee. And Brooke and Shuri says, like, don't worry, Brooke, when I grow up, I'll marry you instead. And King Reuven is like, no, you're supposed to say goofy stuff like that to me and melt my heart. And Brooke is like, no, thank you. I'd prefer a wife without a running nose. And the king tries to like kick him. He's like, how dare you turn down my daughter in front of me? And they're interrupted by a soldier coming in and telling them that there's a gang riding on horseback through the city from the port, and they are making trouble in the city. And the king asks what they were after, and they've been talking about how they've been cheating. They've been shouting for Queen Kendall, who is enjoying an opera in town. And they've apparently been after Kendall for years. So, the king asks when did they land at port, and they tell her to send word to Kendall not to leave the opera house. But the queen's transponder snail is on silent mode because apparently you can do that with the snails. And the pirates, not pirates, but whatever gang this is causing havoc throughout the city. And we get a little look at Kendall watching the opera. The bad guys arrive at the opera house and demand that she come out. And the king looks over at Brooke. He's like, "Help, Brooke! It's going to be fine. Help, Brooke! Do something!" And Brooke is like, "Oh, it's going to be fine. She's very strong. They can't take her anyway. Plus, well, I'm rather stunned you haven't noticed yet. See, by the time they left the port, I'd already cut them all." And then they all succumb to the injuries that apparently Brooke gave them hours ago, which was pretty fucking sick. And
You are already dead.
yeah. And as Kendall, we get a look at Kendall as she's leaving, the Queen of Vesperia. We get a narration saying that 70 years ago, the King of Vesperia had harbored two great stars. One, the former captain of the battle convoy and current Queen Kendall, and the other unpopular musician but master of the quick draw sword technique that left its victims unaware they'd been slashed, the leader of the raider squad, Humming Brook. And in this era, the kingdom was at peace. And that is where the chapter ends. Wow. Josh, what did you think about One Piece chapter 1183?
Did not expect a flashback,
Oh, me neither.
but we needed it.
Oh, yeah.
About if I'm keeping it real, I was always interested in where Brooke came from.
Mm-hmm.
I never expected it to be this big of a deal, but as soon as they started hinting that in this arc, I was intrigued. We all were. But aside from this flashback, what I noticed that Loki is really exhausted already fighting against what's it called? Emo. I mean, have you noticed he's like huffing and puffing
Yeah.
like every point.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like Luffy and Loki have like these very overpowered forms, but they're not used to using them. And that's kind of the nerf right now, is that they could both only use this for a limited time, it seems.
Yeah. And Loki hasn't even gone into his mixed form yet. There's so much potential. But yeah, Sanji hasn't pulled up to the water lady yet, so I mean, whatever.
He's getting there.
I hope these giants don't die. Usually, I know they raise the stakes all the time just for like no one to die. Like Oda does that constantly, but the way Chopper told them, like, yo, like you guys are going to die if you like get up and like keep fighting, get hit again. I think a couple of these giants are going to be taken out.
It could be.
I guess it's not that important, but it matters to me.
It matters to me too.
I can kill the giant people. Sanji's going to save the day.
I hope so. I would love a
And
cool
he'll get a
Sanji
giant
moment.
knife.
We're overdue for a really cool Sanji moment.
And he's going to have a Ratatouille kitchen where he's going to have the big kitchen for the giants and he's going to have a little kitchen in an attic for humans. Did you see Ratatouille?
Yeah, I've seen Ratatouille, Josh. He's going to be controlling one of the giants with their hair.
I didn't say all of that. I mean, just at the end of the movie, there's like they own the restaurant together.
Yeah.
And there's a little restaurant in the
in the attic, yeah.
Rats. So.
Yeah, I remember. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Interesting. All right, Brian, what were your thoughts on this week's One Piece chapter?
I got a little bit of flashback fatigue, not gonna lie. And
Wow.
I can't imagine that this is gonna be the last flashback of this arc. I'm gonna be honest. Um, but it is nice that we're finally getting a Brook backstory. I'm not gonna lie, so I won't complain too much. Um, but man, seeing Brook, alive with so much life in him, so nice to see. Um, and the I cut them already part is pretty fucking awesome as well. So how does this work? Like, this is just his technique, and he could just decide when they're cut,
He does this
when
all
the
the
cut
time.
takes into effect. Yeah, but how does this work? Whatever. It's One Piece. I don't.
It's because he did it so fast. They
Yeah.
didn't notice. It doesn't activate until they notice.
Yeah. Like the body, he cuts them so fast that it takes a minute for the body to even realize it got cut.
And they all just happen to notice right when they go
Yeah.
after the queen.
Yeah. Well, you got to get that cool factor for our boy Brook.
Yeah.
But I'm curious how Gunko is going to end up fitting into all of this after this, because I think they're definitely not going to kill her. So she's definitely going to get out of that ice at some point. And whether she decides to turncoat on Emu is what's left up to discussion here. But honestly, I don't know. I don't have too much else to say about this chapter. It was fun seeing Brook do his thing, and I'm curious to see where this backstory is going to go. But yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah, I really love this chapter. I figured that we would get this flashback. I didn't think it'd be like right now. I figured we'd have some time. There's just like pressing matters going on. But I guess Oda be doing this sometimes, where like in the middle of like the rising action, he'll take a break for a flashback. Although he did this twice. This is the second time in an arc. I don't expect this to be a very long one though. It'll probably be like 3-4 chapters max. It was cool to see Brook, young Brook. This is before he even had his scar. Old Brook in his original Laboon flashback had a scar on his forehead. And that was 50 years ago about. So he leaves, if this is 70, he apparently leaves his kingdom when he's like 40, or he joins York's pirates when he's like 40, probably even 35, because they had been friends for a while already. It's cool to see that Brook has lived such a long life, and a full life at that. He's been like so many different things, it seems. Prime Brook is a monster. It's cool to see him in his prime. It's like he's a completely different person. Just knowing that this young man's gonna end up being the musician for the fucking Straw Hat Pirates 70 years later, is really cool.
He's a child of death.
He's a child of destiny right now. When you think about the Straw Hats crew, that's this 2 military leaders that Luffy has under his employ, Brook and Jinbei. And that's pretty stacked, not gonna lie. I will say, I had one more thing. This king, the streets are talking about this king.
Okay.
There's a
Is there
theory.
something I didn't notice?
There's a theory going around that it's possible that Reuven has ties to the Davy clan.
Davy clan.
Because of his nose, from what I understand, and his general demeanor. I don't know, his hair and his nose. People are like tying him a little bit to the Davy clan, which I don't know if I buy, But that is a very distinct Blackbeard / Rocks-esque nose.
Other people have had noses like that.
Yeah.
That's really interesting, though.
Yeah.
That could be the case. He does have a similar build too.
Mm-hmm.
That husky.
Yeah. But this seems to be a good king, so I'm sure he'll have a tragic death.
The most tragic.
Yeah, I wonder, did Brooks Island get like emued? Because he says it doesn't exist anymore. So
Yeah, that had to have been what happened.
yeah, because that's the
Especially from the Steel Princess.
mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's the verbiage they use, is that taking an island out of existence. The island never existed. So, yikes. Yeah, I'm excited to see what's next for One Piece. This is a really cool flashback that I'm excited to. And you know I love lore. Honestly, I'd watch a whole flashback series of One Piece, of just its life before the Straw Hats came around. But that's all I really got to say about One Piece. Very good chapter. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Are we ready to move on?
Yes, sir.
Let's go. Sakamoto Days. This is Sakamoto Days, chapter 260. A note, a musical note. I don't know what this note is called, but that is the title of the chapter. We open with a newscast of a woman talking about how the violent, widespread clashes have broken out between JAA operatives and anti-new JAA insertions. The violence erupted simultaneously at multiple locations and currently shows no signs of abating. So yeah, everybody's like watching the streets get active. It's not looking good for everybody. And we cut back to Shin and Mr. Music Man fighting on the rooftops. And we get the narrator saying that one of Shin's ability is to rewrite thoughts. By using his own brain, he can even overwrite deeply entrenched beliefs. And it says, in other words, he can disable.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. He can disable brain limiters, allowing his body to exceed physical limitations. So that's crazy. He's doing this as he's fighting the guitar guy and moving super duper fast. He tries to kick the guitar and he realizes, like, that's your weapon, huh? Before you could play that thing, I'll cut the strings. And he takes out a knife and tries to cut the strings off the guitar, but the strings are so strong that it breaks Shin's knife. And Mr. Music Man strums his guitar in G9, causing a humongous explosion and dropping Shin to the street level. And Shin, there's tons of civilians around, and Shin asks everybody, demands that everybody cover their ears, but unfortunately, Mr. Music Man gets off an E9 chord and basically breaks everybody's eardrums and causes everybody to bleed out of their ears. And even with his ESP, Shin is also unable to escape the sounds. And Mr. Music Man is bummed out. He's like, I might be in a slump. Even if I change the keys and amp up the vibe, the sound just gets harsher. Rats, I have no talent. That's crazy. He's like, I know. I'll write a song about this feeling. Enjoy my new song, Talent Mute. And just as he's about to play on his new song, Sakamoto bursts out of the building with Slur, and they are boxing in the air. Shin takes a moment while Mr. Music Man is distracted to punch the guitar, and he knocks it off of tune. And Shin bats this guy with a stop sign into the above platform train tracks. And he goes like, Mr. Sakamoto's battling too, so I can't lose now. But Mr. Music Man is like, your voice hurts my ears. And he just pulls out this amp set out of nowhere. And as this train is about to hit him, he plays this amp. He plays a song out of his amp, and it absolutely demolishes the train and the tracks that he's standing on. And it turns out it's time for the Music Man to get serious as the chapter ends.
His hat falls off.
His hat even falls off. You're right. Yeah. Josh, what did you think about Sakamoto Days, chapter 260?
Oh, wild chapter. I remember last week thinking like how I had no idea how this fight is gonna go, and it's like the author knew. He's like, I bet you guys been thinking how this is gonna go down.
Yeah.
So we heard Shin try to break things down analytically. We've seen that this guy his instruments are made out of really strong materials, and also he can create sound waves that'll destroy a fucking train. That is a feat.
Yeah.
Whoever beats this guy in skills to that's a feat, bro.
It is a feat, bro.
I'm pretty sure it's impossible. Not say that.
It's impossible
I
to
do
win.
wonder. Is it impossible to stop a train with sound?
Let me see. Let's Google it. Is it impossible to stop a train with sound? In practical physics, yes, it is functionally impossible to stop a moving train with sound. So yes, it's impossible.
He did something. That nigga planted a bomb real quick or something. But he did a domain extension.
Yeah, he's a
So
fraud.
he's lying.
He's a
This
fraud.
motherfucker's lying. Yeah.
He didn't really do that with a guitar. That's bullshit.
He plugged it into the amp and he played something and it that was the code for the device to activate. and
Yeah.
blow up.
That's exactly how it went down. With those,
Yeah,
I guess I don't really. That's what I'd say. Brian, what were your thoughts on Sakamoto Days?
This is the most ridiculous power so far in this series. Everybody in that train is dead, by the way. Every single person is dead. Without a single doubt.
Yeah.
That is a absolute mass murder at that moment.
yeah.
But also, one of the hardest panels in the series. Oh, whoops. One of the hardest panels in that series, in the series so far.
Yeah.
I feel like this is kind of with a musical note on it. Bing! Ooh, that was fucking fire. I feel like this is up there with the lady throwing the truck through the museum. I feel like it's up there with that. You know what I'm talking about?
That sounds crazy. That was in this series?
Yeah.
Wait,
it
which
was,
one?
The magnet lady throwing a truck through the wall.
Oh yeah, I think I
remember
remember
that?
that. Yes.
That was fire. I feel like this is up there. The musical note with the shockwave. That's pretty sick. I feel like we're about to get a really good final fight out of Shin. And I'm really I have no clue how he's gonna beat this guy.
Yeah, I don't know how you beat this guy, really.
He's so busted and OP. Dude is so powerful. This is easily probably among the most powerful people we've seen in the series so far, right? Like, this is some shit
Gotta
that
be.
even Mr. X couldn't do. He stopped a moving train with a guitar.
With a riff.
Mr. Music Man, stop this train with a guitar and a box of amps.
It's actually insane.
Destiny.
Bro, that's it. I don't have much else to say. Chris, what you got?
Yeah, I thought this chapter was pretty sick. Yeah, I wonder if this guy's just gonna be stationary the entire time. It's kind of like a boss battle where you have to like get through a bad guy's shield or something,
Yeah.
but he's mostly stationary. There's gotta be like a puzzle you gotta beat.
He's not gonna be able to get close. Imagine you stay on that train track and it's like Shin, for every 10 to 15 minutes you don't defeat me, I'm gonna smash another train coming.
I mean, I don't know where another train's gonna be coming from. You destroy the track. But yeah.
What the fuck happened, Josh? You like brain broken with that.
I don't know, I don't know what I'll say.
You hit him with the brain destroyer, dude.
Josh has to power down real quick. Josh had to restart real fast. All right, well, that's really all I have to say about Sakamoto Days. I thought it was pretty sick. I mean, I don't know. It's a lot of action. I'm excited to see how Shin gets through this one. You guys ready to move on to the next one?
I'm sorry, I was so distracted.
It's okay.
I was like, wait, was I ask something? Shit.
You did say something. I was responding directly to you.
Yeah, just like mid conversation, your brain just like fucking exploded.
I got attacked by shit.
Christian said, I don't know where the train's gonna come from, and you just went,
Because we on the train track.
Oh, yes. Yeah, all right. I guess we can move on from Sakamoto.
I hope he turns his sword into some guns.
Kagurabachi. And with that, I'm going to pass this one over to Josh.
Oh my god, I'm not ready.
No, you want me to do
Kagurabachi chapter 1. Oh, my face hurts. All right. Kagurabachi chapter number 122. Start. Last week we seen some of our heroes get fucking maimed. We seen Shiba get reduced, to, I would say, 3/4 of a corpse.
Yeah.
I think that's the adequate ratio. And, he had to listen to what the Mikoboshi Prince had to say. But we start this chapter on a much lighter note. Your boy Rokuhira is eating a rice ball. And I think that's the first thing he's eaten in maybe like a week or something. So, pretty big deal.
Yeah.
This kid starves himself because he's dedicated. And then this guy, Subaru, that's his name, right?
That is him. Subaru
The
Urita.
the Nigiri man, the grip guy.
Whoa. Pause.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
I don't know if this guy knew what he was talking
Oh,
about.
my God.
Like, that's his thing, Nigiri, so like. I don't know,
Whoa.
bro.
Pause.
Like, keep your hands away from me. So, anyway, Ruki was telling him, like, yo, like, I read your book before, and that shit was ass, bro. You was talking some bullshit. And this guy's, and then Subaru was like, no, like, that was the point, man. Right?
Yes, Subaru is like, I know.
Yup. Mm-hmm.
I'm a fucking scammer, bro.
Yeah. I definitely did that knowing that people was going to be led wrong. But the people that questioned it and disagree with it, that's who I knew were the real experts.
I'm a New York Times bestseller off fucking Cap.
Yeah. He needs a podcast.
For real.
So, anyway, they start to have an actual, like, serious conversation because Subaru asks him, "How starved are you actually?" You know, and he's like, somebody as skilled as you would be able to should be able to make like a ton of money like in no time or whatever. And he says, and then Rokuhiro responds saying, making a living selling deadly weapons is something I've never been comfortable with. But that's how it should be. We should continually struggle to forge blades to protect people. Being recognized by the state as living treasure or whatever feels like a blanket approval of this craft, and that scares me. He then says, like, "Oh, I didn't mean to, offend you, Subaru, since you're literally sanctioned by the state to make these weapons."
Yeah.
But Subaru says to him, "Look, if you starve to death, you won't be grappling with the morality of that shit or anything else for long." And Rokuhiro's like, "I get that." And then Subaru asks him if he has a goal. He says, "Of course, I want to forge the greatest sword ever." He's like, "What does that mean? What do you mean by best sword?" He's like, "I don't know, man. But, the more swords I make, I'll end up figuring that out, even if I have to make thousands." And Subaru's like, that's going to make money. That's going to take money, right? But you're not thinking about it. Then, let me get a picture.
A nice little photograph of the deceased.
Plus Sheba.
Plus Sheba.
Damn.
Rip.
And it's sideways, so I got to tilt my phone. Is
Let
this
me tell
guy
you something.
twirling his mustache?
Let me tell you something. He was cheesing in the photograph. This guy was never not
This
cheesing.
photo right before going on the ship. Be right back. This should be fun. I can't wait to tell you about.
I'll be right back.
Yo, you see,
Wah.
yo, you see, super casual, like posing up for the camera too.
Yeah, he's trying to make it. He's trying to look casual doing it, but we see what you're doing, bro.
Yeah, bro, got this spliff in his hand.
He does got the spliff in there.
Super casuals too.
Hey man, this about to be easy. What the fuck is he talking about? I'm that nigga. I'm the Soga guy. I got this black hole. Yeah, man. And then Sheba's thinking whatever happens, I'm out of there, so it's cool.
There's a smoking on this Shokoku pack real quick.
Yeah, he's getting ready. I think the only person that was ready to die was Mashiro.
He's like, "Can you guys take this seriously?"
Anyway, yeah, funny picture. But we cut to Sheba. He's in critical condition on the hospital bed. And he suffered more than 20 broken bones as well as internal injuries. But thanks to magic treatments, he can respond to questions. That sounded kind of, I don't know, callous? No, not callous. That's the wrong word. Insensitive.
Get back to work.
Not caring that he's in critical.
No, it's insensitive. You got it. Callous. Callous, insensitive.
Yes.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's the point.
Yeah. Huh?
I think that's maybe the point.
Right. Well, I think they're mean. But anyway,
You don't have any more PTO days, Sheba.
They on his ass. They mad he lost in the first place.
What the fuck? You talking all this shit?
Wake up. Hurry the fuck up. You need to explain what just happened.
Time is money, son.
Where the fuck is Soga? Anyway, these government leaders are sitting at a round table. The Japanese government leaders are talking about what happened, and also breaking down what the terms and conditions that the Mikaboshi Prince laid, which was that they wanted 3 prefectures of Japan, which was Tokyo, um, Chiba, and Kanigawa, all places that I know where they're at on the globe in Japan.
You know them? You know where they are?
Mm-hmm. We all do here at New Jump City.
Yeah, I know exactly. I was just checking.
Absolutely.
I know exactly. I can point it out right now.
And Brian does too, for sure.
Brian knows.
So yeah, so they want to eradicate the Soga clan, but they also need the Soga princess, the one that has the ability to foresee, because it was the Soga princess from the past that made the prediction that she was basically the one that encouraged the encouraged the clan to eradicate the Mikaboshi people just off of prediction. So they're salty about that shit, but they don't want to kill her. They want her power. Therefore, of course, not the Mikaboshi prince, but the oldest, crustiest, shystiest looking person there is the one that has to have her bear his child.
The princess
Crazy.
will bear my
I guess
child.
it's not like, yeah, like it had to be him.
Ugh.
Like in the worst fit possible. Too.
What is that on your nose, bro?
What is that on your fucking waist? Like, look at this guy. He looks like he's one step away from asking for them to return to slab, bro.
What?
You don't remember the Courage the Cowardly Dog? Return the slab. Return the slab.
What a pull. That
Yeah.
was nice, bro. Yo. Oh, I gotta look that up. That looked so crazy. That was scary.
It was
I
scary.
feel like I remember being like, yeah.
There was moments where Courage the Cowardly Dog was like, "Are you sure this is for kids? I mean, this shit fucked me up."
I had nightmares when I first saw that episode.
Yeah, it was crazy. This old fuck. Yeah, the Mikaboshi.
Yeah,
just,
why did they do that? What the fuck is wrong with them? That was a kid's show.
yeah. The Mikaboshi be talking crazy, man.
Yeah.
Oh my god, they're talking like Knicks fans right now.
Shut up.
You will bear our child.
So, after here, they're discussing these conditions and, they're all at a consensus that they can't allow that to happen.
Yeah.
But they're trying to figure out, like, why are they so fucking strong? And they basically figure that it has to be the Danseki. That's why they seek it out. But, they're not. But it's funny because they're so brash. Like, they're not even worried about us being able to figure out how to use it. So should we even bother? You know what I'm saying? But they're just trying to figure out what's gonna happen. But we cut to Rokuhira and he pulls up on Shiba, who's up and getting dressed. I don't know how long ago it was that he was in that hospital bed. They didn't say how much time passed. And Rokuhira's like, should you be up? And Shiba was like, I have to get up.
They're gonna fire me.
Yeah. My Kohai's turning 8. Never mind. So he sees like a sword on the table by Mr. Shiba, and he remembers when he told him that, like, I have a little homie that's turning 18, and could you forge him a good sword?
Yeah, it's Mashiro's sword.
That was Mashiro's sword. Yeah. So anyway, he asks, Shiba asks Rokuhira, how much did Mr. Hasumi tell you as far as like the events of what happened and what the conditions are? And he was like, everything. And then we cut back to the government people talking, and they're like, yo, wait, do you think there's a way? And we cut to another panel I have a book that says The Enchanted Blade Plan. As it says, March 21st, midnight start. That is the end of Kagurabachi. Brian Espinal, what are your thoughts?
RGC.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine it's the same for me and you, right, Josh?
Yes. This is the last one remaining.
Unified RGC. Unified RGC. Unified RGC.
All right. So if you look closely on page 6, you see the bead motherfucker is there. Remember the guy who got murked immediately?
A lot of the Kamunabi is there.
Yeah, like a weird beard guy.
Yeah,
is also
Mr.
here.
CTE villain is over there. Weird beard. Isn't the long neck guy, like the tall guy with the weird scarf, isn't he one of them too?
Yeah, I don't know if Best Genius is part of the.
It's the Best Genius ripoff over here.
It does look like this.
You get to see Asami as well.
Oh yeah, he is
A
there.
little Asami cameo.
Yeah, they show him for a second.
Oh, and I think right below Asami, you see the fucking mask guy.
Yeah, the masked guy who
Right?
dies.
I
Yeah.
still don't think he's dead. I don't believe it.
I think that's one of the that's like mini Masumi, the mini Masumi people below that.
Oh, you think so? Oh, yeah.
They're all in suits and they got swords.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be the Masumi.
Yeah, but mini Masumi man is probably not there. He's not born yet.
I like this chapter a lot, but a lot of it comes down to guys, in order to beat these guys, we would have to need like a really strong thing. Like, guys, we're gonna have to have something like really enchantedly strong to beat these
Wait,
guys.
say
Who
that
could
again.
Possibly make that.
Wait, say that again.
I said something really enchantedly strong.
Credits.
Like this, like I get they need to have these guys like kind of talking about shit and stuff like that. But the real selling point in this chapter for me was the interaction between Rokuhira and Shiba at the end. Because that interaction alone brought so much weight to the decision behind making the enchanted blades. Because this is how you get Chihiro's dad into the mix for real. Like, give him a stake, because they not only like just the the storytelling of like the subtle storytelling, I guess, like saying like not even saying a lot. He walks into the room, he sees the sword, he remembers that he remembers Shiba asking him to make that sword for what was his name?
Mashiro.
I forget. Mashiro. And he could already piece it together like, oh damn. Like it just, I don't know. I really like the way that he tells a story without saying a lot and then leaves. He only says things when it needs to be said. It just feels very well paced and very well thought out. And he knows exactly when to give information and when to kind of just let the characters feel the way that they feel.
It's like the opposite of Brian Michael Bendis.
Is it? What's your beef? What's your beef with Brian Michael Bendis these days?
His dialogue sucks.
Does it?
Yes, marshmallow filler dialogue.
Does he? I don't know. I don't remember that. But I haven't read a Brian Michael Bendis comic in a long time. Marshmallow filler.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that comic that we had looked up. Anyway.
Oh, Naomi.
Brian,
Right. That was a long time ago, bro.
But yeah, it's interesting to me that Rokuhira got tied into this through all the people around him, the people closest to him getting hurt. And that's what drove him to make the swords. Like he had little to no involvement in this story until now. So it kind of tells a lot about his character, you know? That he was never really on the front lines. He was always, you know, he's the architect of this whole plot to take down these guys, and he wasn't even personally wronged by the enemy. You know, he kind of just he saw all the people that he loved getting hurt, like his you know, his future wife, you know, losing her brother and seeing all the pain and suffering that's going to happen in the future, and saw the physical ramifications of like what these guys can do to his like, and it happened to his best friend. So I don't know. This is, I don't know, really beautiful chapter when it comes to like the character writing between Rokuhira and I forget his first name.
Oh,
I know it starts with an S, doesn't it?
shoot.
Kunishige.
Yes.
Like between Kunishige and Shiba. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Chris, what did you think?
Yeah, I really love this chapter. Just a little subtle like references to the lore. I mean, we know about the flame bone gets referenced years before the actual flame bone user comes up. And you know, it wasn't an easy decision probably to give it to her. I forget the flame bone user's name right now, but if they were like this hesitant to use it right away when they know they got smoked, it must have been like a big decision to actually give it to the current user. And she must have really proved herself to be able to use it. It was cool to see like, you know, the future Kamunabi members there, like little nod to them. I agree with Brian, like the pacing was really cool, like cutting between the government guys talking about what they're going to do with the emotional like impact that it had on Shiba and now Kunishige. He heard they were talking crazy shit about his girl, and he was like, time to make some fucking swords.
Right? He's like, nah,
No,
you're not letting that
I'm
shit
not with
go.
that right now.
I love Tokyo. Can't have
No. He said, what? Have his chill. What?
Going to work. Going to work.
Also, that the conversation between Kunishige and Subaru in the beginning, I really enjoyed. I enjoyed their dynamic a lot. I think it's very fun. I like Subaru as a character as well. I'm excited to see what his blade can do, bro. I'm so excited to see his power. But yeah, I'm excited to see how this works. Man, Kagurabachi is just in a great place. We always knew that this flashback, when they talked about the Seitei War, would be fire, and you know, has not let up. It has been pretty consistently great the entire way through. Knock on wood, I guess, but it's been so good. The Enchanted Blade Plan book thing, that was such a cool little touch because, you know, we all know what that means, you know. It got me a little hype when I first read it. You know, it's like watching, like, it's like when Samuel Jackson first came in, it was like, I'd like to talk to you about the Avengers Initiative, you know?
Yep.
It was that moment. So I'm super duper excited for what comes next in Kagurabachi. Josh, what did you think?
Excuse me, Coco. I think this was it was a nice chapter to follow up what had happened previously. You know, like a nice like change of pace in that super L they took. But I think what's been on my mind more than anything else in these last couple chapters is the fact that Akamura Soga, you know, uses his enchanted blade, the Shinichi, to eradicate all of the people of Mikaboshi. And I mean, you know, these people suck if you're Japanese and from the Soga clan. I'll tell you that. You probably really think the Mikaboshi people suck ass. But you know, it's just war at the end of the day. It's conflict, and I don't mean I'm not trying to make light of it at all, but it's there's rules and etiquette to war. When you win, you go about things a certain way. What you don't do is commit genocide. That is a war crime. It is a crime against fucking humanity. You know, these Mikaboshi people, for as far as I know, they're still human, just a little bit different because they were forced off of the fucking night, you know, their home. And listen, I'm not caping for fucking Mikaboshi people. I'm just trying to lay the groundwork for, you know, I want to see how the characters themselves, you know, determine that. Because I'm sure the Mikaboshi people are going to cause so much more harm. And I think, you know, that's kind of what the author is, that's his intention, to build up on that resentment and then still put that decision in your face as a reader. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It'll probably come out differently than I expected and probably even better. But that's, you know, that's what this chapter made me think about more than anything else. Those are my thoughts.
Yeah, I guess I want to follow up on what you said. I think you're right. Well, yeah, in this case, I mean, like, the Mikaboshi are human, fully. So, and they have, like, a rightful grievance from what I see. I mean, you can understand where they're coming from. We don't know the full actual history between the Soga and the Mikaboshi. I think there's obviously going to be a layer to that even. And I can't even, I can't help but seeing where this chapter started with Rokihira talking about how he's averse to taking money for his weapons, and, you know, how he doesn't feel like, he feels like, you know, being paid for his weapon feels like a blanket approval of the craft, which I think what he means by that is, like, the manufacturing of weapons is not something that we should be, I guess, like, very okay with. You know, like, it's a defensive measure, and that's how he sees it as, is that these swords are meant for protecting people, not for waging war and being aggressors.
It's certainly not an indicator of peaceful times.
No.
If, you know, the government is encouraging and paying, you know, people to create a lot of weapons.
Yeah.
You know, I guess without there needing to be a war, which is, you know, a pending war. But obviously he was speaking from aside from that context.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's just interesting that this whole series is really revolved around Rokihira's Kunishige's philosophy around weapons. You know, Chihiro is, like, trying to carry that on and continue that, but he doesn't really know what that means exactly. The best that Chihiro is doing in his father's name is to make sure that at the very least these swords don't end up in the hands of people who will just cause damage for whatever reason, or at least they will, like, be in more responsible and more reasonable hands. But I think it's cool to see that even, like, Kunishige doesn't really even know himself, but he knows deep down that it's just, like, there shouldn't be, like, a universal acceptance of just the mass production of weapons. If that makes sense. I don't know. I feel like I'm rambling, but
No, I get it. I agree.
yeah.
Yeah, even when I was covering that part, I said it was. I actually meant to talk about it too, so I'm glad you brought that up.
It's just an interesting contradiction within the character, where you're making a sword, it's a weapon, but, you know, the intention behind the weapon or the use of the weapon is super important. And I think that's, like, the whole point of the series. And with Chihiro wanting to get the blades back, what's your intentionality? It's almost, you know, like, it's like One Piece, like, way back in the day when Frankie made battleships, and Tom would talk about Frankie's battleships when Frankie started renouncing his ships, and Tom got fucking upset at that, and he's like, no, your weapon, the weapons that you make, even if they're the worst things in the world, are not inherently evil. It's what people do with them. You have to love your creations. They're not like inherently bad or good. It is just like in the hands of the wielder. And I think like we're getting at a little more of a nuanced take here with Kagurabachi. I'm very curious to see where it goes. But yeah, I don't know if you had a rebuttal to that or anything, Josh.
No, the only thing I'll say is that like I think, with Kunishige, I think it is really like base and fundamental as far as just if you value life, you understand that these are instruments of death, and you don't. It's like he has a hobby he loves to do. He enjoys doing it. It just so happens that it conflicts, like what people want to use it for conflicts with his philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
So he's had a fucking, it's like as you said in so many words, like between a rock and a hard place.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, this event is pushing him to not to that's what I feel like that conversation with Subaru was leading, why like what it was for, to lead to this moment, like this sudden change in him, like being serious about creating these enchanted weapons of immense fucking power, on a level that no sword he's ever made like has accomplished. It just boils down to the fact that like it's something he needs to do, and something he damn, I kind of lost it. It was the fact that Subaru was telling him like, well, you're gonna have to like sell some eventually. You're gonna have to strike a balance here with like if this is what you want to do for a living, you're gonna have to compromise here and there. And this was this was a reason to compromise, for the sake of saving their country or whatever bigger purpose. All right, that's all I gotta say.
Hell yeah. Very good chapters of the week. But do we have anything else before we close it out?
Nah.
Brian's not here.
No.
Okay. And with that has been our show. However, we have an announcement to make. For the last couple of weeks, we have made a poll to see which series is going to be replacing Jujutsu Kaisen Mojulo in our regular lineup, and we are happy to announce that Ichi the Witch will be joining the lineup starting next week.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, it's me, Tyler Kolick.
What? But yeah, Ichi the Witch. We'll be talking about Ichi the Witch starting next week. I hope you guys are excited about that. And Sakamoto Days is
How many
ending.
votes did it get?
Huh?
How many
We
votes
got a
did it
whopping 3 votes for
get? Holy shit.
3 out of 3 votes for Ichi the Witch.
Damn, that's 100% of the
It's
vote.
100% of the vote. So by a landslide, I would say, Ichi the Witch joins the lineup. However, Sakamoto Days is coming to an end at some point soon. So get geared up.
I give it 10 chapters.
Yeah, you have 10 chapters. We'll be running a poll again very soon. So, get ready to vote again very soon, ladies and gentlemen. But with that, that has been our show. Thank you guys so much for listening. As per usual, you can find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Josh is at JDCole_37 on Instagram and New Jump City Josh on Twitter. Brian is at b.esp on Twitter and Instagram. Catch him where he's streaming at twitch.tv/itspunchline. Do you stream, Brian, still?
Yeah.
Oh, he streams. So,
Yeah, every once in 5 to 6 years.
well, take a guess as to whenever he streams and he'll be there. You could email the show at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about. And we'll talk about it in our pre-show chat show that we do. We did one this week, and it'll be coming out as well. Subscribe to the podcast, please. If you like the show, subscribe, like, share, comment, all that stuff. And with that has been our 350th episode, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. And we will see you guys next week. Stay safe, New Jump citizens.
Peace out, y'all.
Nixon
Bye.
4.
Next
Go
and
next.
six.